Life happens. Jobs get lost. Medical bills pile up. Unexpected expenses hit. And sometimes the car payment becomes the thing you're not sure you can make. If you're in that situation right now, or you want to know what your options are before it ever gets there, this video is for you. I'm Gary, the bad credit card guy, 26 years in the car business. Here's exactly what happens when you can't make your payment and what you can do about it. Let me walk you through exactly what happens when you miss a car payment, step by step, day 1 through 10. Most lenders have a grace period of 10 to 15 days after your payment due date. If you pay within that window, you typically won't get a late fee, and the payment won't be reported as late to the credit bureaus. Know your lender's grace period. It's in your loan agreement. Day 10 to 30. If you haven't paid by the end of the grace period, you'll start getting calls and letters from the lender. A late fee is assessed. The clock is running. Day 30. At 30 days past, due, your lender will typically report the payment as late to the credit bureaus. This is the point where your credit score takes a hit. A 30-day late on a subprime auto loan is a serious negative mark. Day 60 and beyond. Multiple missed payments significantly increase the risk of repossession. The lender is tracking every missed payment and escalating their collection efforts. At 60 days past due, most lenders consider your account seriously delinquent. Day 90 and beyond. At this point, repossession becomes very likely. The lender has the legal right to take the vehicle, and most will exercise that right. In most states, they don't need to give you advance notice before repossessing. Here is the single most important thing I can tell you if you know you're going to miss a payment. Call your lender before you miss it, not after. Before. Most people do the opposite. They avoid the calls, they don't open the letters, they hope the problem goes away. That is the worst thing you can do. Lenders deal with borrowers in financial difficulty every day. They have programs and options specifically designed for this situation. But those options are much more available to a borrower who calls proactively and says, I'm having a difficult month, I want to stay current, what can we work out? Than to a borrower who has already missed 2 payments and has been avoiding contact. Call your lender. Explain your situation honestly. Ask what options are available. The worst they can say is we don't have any options. But most lenders do have options. And the conversation you have before you miss a payment is almost always more productive than the one after. Here are the options that may be available to you depending on your lender and your situation. Payment deferral. Many lenders will allow you to defer 1 or sometimes 2 payments, moving them to the end of your loan. Your loan term extends by the number of deferred payments, but you get immediate relief without a late mark on your credit report. Not all lenders offer this, and most have limits on how many times you can defer over the life of the loan. Ask specifically about deferral. Payment extension. Similar to a deferral, the lender agrees to extend your due date, giving you more time to bring the account current. This is often available if you've had a good payment history, and this is an isolated situation. Loan modification. In some cases, particularly if you're experiencing a longer-term financial hardship, a lender may agree to modify the terms of your loan. This might mean a temporarily reduced payment, a lower interest rate, or an extended loan term to reduce the monthly payment. This is less common but worth asking about. Refinancing. If your credit has improved since you got the original loan, or if interest rates have changed, refinancing your loan with a different lender at better terms could reduce your monthly payment to something more manageable. This takes time, so it's not a solution for an immediate crisis, but it's worth exploring. Voluntary surrender. If you genuinely cannot afford to keep the vehicle and none of the above options are available, voluntary surrender means you contact the lender and arrange to return the vehicle yourself rather than having it repossessed. This is still a serious negative mark on your credit, but it demonstrates cooperation and may reduce the deficiency balance compared to a forced repossession auction. What you don't want is an involuntary repossession with no prior communication. That is the worst outcome for your credit and for your relationship with that lender. If you're going through a financial hardship, here's how to minimize the damage to your credit while you work through it. Prioritize your car payment above other debts if you depend on the vehicle to get to work. Transportation to your income source is your most critical bill. A missed credit card payment hurts less than losing the vehicle that gets you to work. Know your grace period and use it. If you have 10 days after your due date before a late fee kicks in, use that window. Don't let 10 days turn into 30 out of avoidance. Communicate with your lender every step of the way. Every call you make, every arrangement you reach, document it. Get confirmation numbers. Get agreements in writing if possible. Don't ignore the problem. The single biggest mistake I've watched borrowers make over 26 years is going silent when things get hard. Lenders escalate fast on silent accounts. Stay in communication, and you maintain some control over the process. If you're in a situation where you truly cannot make your payment and you've exhausted your options with the lender, consider reaching out to a nonprofit credit counseling agency. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling at nfcc.org can connect you with a certified counselor who can help you navigate your options at no cost. Missing a car payment feels like a crisis, and I understand that. But in most cases, it doesn't have to become one if you act quickly and communicate openly with your lender. Call them. Ask about your options. Be honest about your situation. Most lenders would rather work with you than repossess a vehicle. I'm Gary, the bad credit car guy, 26 years in this business. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to negotiate a used car price when you have bad credit, because you have more leverage than you think. That's coming up next. Grab the free guide in the description. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.